Do you see that? All right, I made it back here with the Volvo. I've got all the parts I need. I got that upper control arm, and I got this from 𝕮𝐬𝖊𝖏. 𝕮𝐬𝐊𝖏's one of the only companies I've ever reached out to send me anything. And some people comment every now and then like, oh, I'll just show any tool that somebody pays me for. That's not the truth, man. There's a lot of people who try and do like, oh, let me put my stuff on your channel, and we turn them away because it's just not a good product or it's not a good fit. I bought my first 𝕮𝐬𝖏 years ago and I loved it, so I asked 𝕮𝐬𝖏 to send me some more. Well, they didn't send me a light this time, but I hope they send me a light next time, so I'm gonna show you this. Okay, got the new really expensive shock absorber here. It's about $1,000. A new fitting and collet for that, and the upper control arm. Hopefully there's nothing else hidden in there. But the air ride suspension has a leak, so, or you know, it's got an issue. What else am I gonna do except for start with this side that I could already hear the shock absorber was worn out on, and then also vacuum test or smoke test those lines. But I heard the pump just run, and it took a while to build up, but then it stopped. So I'm not exactly sure if it's got a leak. I think the pump would have kept running, but maybe it just shuts off by itself. So we'll look into it further after I put the shock on it. All right, here's the 𝕮𝐶. But with this, you can stack your batteries in there and it'll charge them. Looks pretty sweet. I'm gonna give it a try when I get home. The 𝕮𝐶 can charge 32 batteries at a time. You don't even have to worry which direction you put it in. This can do 3-in-1, monitor your batteries, charge them, and storage. This will come in super useful thanks to 𝕮𝐬𝖏. If you want any 𝕮𝐬𝖏 products, check out the link in the description. I just pulled out this wood block. I was gonna chalk the wheel with it. You can probably tell it came off of a pallet. But I was just thinking, this was from one of my first, if not the very first, mobile mechanic job I did when I started my business out here. I was the manager at Edible Arrangements, and this was from a pallet behind the store. I tore apart a pallet and got 4 of these blocks out of it, so this has some history. I'm guessing this hasn't been moved for 2 days, because this is where I parked it almost exactly in my head. And look at that juicy puddle of coolant. I didn't realize it was leaking that much. How's the reservoir not getting empty? I don't think they were topping it off, but it's just been staying at the full mark, or the leak got worse. Anyways, I'm not sure if I talked about it last time already, but I looked up the 𝕮𝖶𝖏𝖏. Oh yeah, I put that inspection camera on there. It has a coolant line going to it. I'm pretty sure it's the O-ring on that leaking. All right, I got the wheel off and everything. For some reason, these were 2 different sizes, 7mm and 8mm. And for some reason, they're just using 18mm on all these instead of 19, like every other car. So, should have brought a pickle fork. But since I'm not reusing this, I'm just gonna whack on the stud. Because you don't want to bang on the aluminum ones, maybe just the cast ones. And yeah, there's the fitting in the airline. So hopefully I've got this done in like an hour and a half. We'll see. Oh, that took a lot of wax. My shoulders are tired. I didn't have enough room to build any momentum this way, so I turned the hammer this way and gave it about 50 whacks. With the neighbors out walking their dogs. Sorry, what can I do? Get it done. Just do, when I'm doing something like that, I just keep ripping at it till it's done. I just hit it hard for a minute instead of dragging it out for 5 minutes. That's the only thing I can do for the neighbors. Wrap it up quick. That's it. I don't bang a lot. Usually use pry bars if I can, and pickle forks aren't as loud. Okay, I think if I just loosen this, I can kind of drop them out, and hopefully the axle doesn't do something weird. What the heck? What is Volvo doing, dude? What is that? I think I've seen that once before. I don't want to mess up that axle. They'll pop it all the way out, so let's do this bolt there. Well, I really didn't want to mess with this bolt again. It looks a little rough. It doesn't look as bad as I was thinking it would be. But that was kind of the only way to get this separated, I believe, was to just go ahead and loosen this up again. So Check out the threads in that. They looked a little gummed up, but if it goes in like last time and torques down, we'll try it one more time. If not, I might have to drill those threads out and do the longer bolt. Just a better bolt with better threads like I thought. It's borderline. We'll find out. I think it's reusable. If it was looking worse, I wouldn't really even try. I would just be like, yeah, we'll just get a new setup, but it looks close enough to try. These cars are getting high tech, yo. That's like space shuttle type reinforcement there. Triangulated, milled out. Like, I guess they're saving material, weight, cost. I don't know if that can save cost, but saving a few things. That's crazy. There's no like unbending that either in a collision. Whereas with sheet metal, you can kind of bend. You wouldn't really want to bend frame or something that supports the shock like that. As far as I'm aware, you would replace it, but I bet there's a lot of things like that in here that you can't fix when you get in a crash. All right, let's get this upper one out. That was easy to get out. I just loosened that fitting and held in by some 10mm bolts, so easy peasy on that. All right, bro, these things are crazy tight. That other one, I was afraid I was gonna bust my knuckles, so this one, just look. Oh yeah, there we go. All right, I need two hands. I can't get it anymore. They're tight. I think I need to take a minute to appreciate how lucky I just got. Take a break before I get rushed and mess up a bolt. Look how close I was to stripping this one out. I didn't realize I was yanking on that thing. So luckily, could you imagine if I had to cut the head off of this? There's no way I'd have been able to grab the shank and twist it. I'd have been toast if something happened like that. That was close. Found some more rat trash. They found their way up into this wheel liner here, brought some trash with them. Everything looks good in here. I don't see like wires that have been chewed on, honestly, anywhere. That doesn't mean they're not there, but the fact that they're not chewing through everywhere is a good sign that there's not a ton of problems, maybe just a couple. And I'd honestly be surprised if there's none. We'll find out though. Stay subscribed. These are childhood friends of mine. I've known these people my whole life, so I'll be working on their car if it has more problems, no doubt. I just got this tightened up, so I should probably have waited till I loaded the suspension. Probably loosen it up, get that all set up. I just don't think there's a good way to load the suspension and then tighten that, the way those are hidden behind the shock. So kind of put it in a D spot, kind of a little bit less than level. Maybe I'll just put it level. I'll look it up. But again, there's no way I think I can load this up. I mean, yeah, the shock absorber is not even calibrated yet. Yeah, I don't see how that'd be possible. All right, I've actually got enough room to adjust this upper control arm after I get everything loaded up. I had the hardest time pushing this on, so I had to put a breaker bar in the split in the back and open it a little so it would slide on. But it's all the way on now. I'm gonna load it up and then tighten that and readjust the upper. And I'll go ahead and tighten this upper ball joint too. These are crazy little bolts. They get tight. And I've got everything done and tightened up except for that leak. So I pulled the fender. That's why I pulled the fender out, because I think I'm gonna have to get to it through here. I can see that coolant line. Yeah, I think I can get to it through there. It's not gonna be fun either way. I don't know if you can see it or not. It's also starting to snow, so hopefully I'm not gonna be too much longer. Hopefully this is quick. Hopefully. We'll find out. I unplugged the turbo and I think the car knew about it. It started making sounds. So I'm gonna unplug the battery. Dang, my hand warm. Do you see that? I think somebody hooked some jumper cables up to this backwards at some point. Looks like something's been melted on there. Got hot. What a mess. What a mess. I mean, it runs. Oh, look. Is that rat teeth marks? Yes, it is. I know what they look like. I know exactly what they look like. Oh, my light's over there. Can you see that? Right there? That light's not got enough charge. Okay. You did chew on these hoses. Those are teeth marks. I don't think they liked it. Oh, is that teeth marks? Yeah. This is not a car I would have recommended to buy. That's teeth marks. Yep. I was looking. I thought maybe they removed the stud or something from over here. That's why I was kind of wiping right here for some black charring. And then as soon as I turned the camera off, look what I spotted. The other burnt post. So someone hooked some jumper cables up to this backwards. Might have computer issues too, bro. I just diagnosed the car a few weeks ago that they hooked the battery up backwards and busted up the four-wheel drive modulator, like a body control module type of deal under the dash. Okay, that bolt's holding them both on, and you can see a lot better there. The leak. It's got to be that O-ring. Maybe those are both coolant lines. Yeah, probably one going in, one going out. I thought one was oil, but the line coming out the bottom's oil, so I don't know where the oil feed line is, but I can see that it's got oil in it too, because it goes straight into the oil pan. But it looks like an 8mm. Pop that off, replace those O-rings. If I can reach up in there, I can put my hand on the bolt, so I think I can do this in less than an hour. No way you can't see that snow now, huh? It's coming down. Hopefully I can get out of here before I get wet. All right, I'm not gonna lie, I dropped my socket once. Yeah, it didn't get on the extension well, and I couldn't find it, and I had to crawl under there and find it, and I did, and then I got this bolt off. Tiny little boy. That's all that's holding that coolant line on though, so let me get my pan. Let me get my pan under there. And I'm guessing a little bit's gonna drip out, but not much. Maybe just a pig mat. I legit thought it was gonna be impossible to pop off. Hear that? I got it. That took like 10-15 minutes. Camera's getting wet. Snow's coming down. And I was reached way up in there, just as hard as I could. Finally, it started leaking a little. I was like, oh, it's coming. Boom, popped off. She's got all the coolant behind her. Still coming. I'm gonna let that drain, and then we'll find those O-rings. It's gotta be that. Got it. That was super hard to get off. Look, I thought once I loosened it up, it was all good. It's still connected to the coolant hoses above it, but I can pull it away from the turbo like this much. So I had to reach up there with a pick and pry that off, and that was the easy one. The one above it's gonna be harder, but I don't know, they're probably not even the same size. They might be though, because it's just in and out, so probably the same diameter. Okay, that was stressful. I'm probably not even gonna be able to show you. I can't find this camera cord. But I got both O-rings on there. Hard to see though. Where are those? Right there's an O-ring. And there's the other one. Boom. Boom. That's both. Okay, let's get this back together. That was like 30 minutes. Those were hard, very difficult to replace, but I did it. All right, just wrapping up, checking the codes. Forgot to plug the turbo back in, so I did that already. And the central electronic module, it's got 10 codes. That's probably from hooking those cables up backwards, and that might be what's causing some of these issues. Well, I mean, they have like, they want me to double check the auto leveling. They're like, it's not working, it stopped working. I think I mentioned that, like, I've got to replace that front corner anyways, all that stuff before I can really figure out why. So that's gonna be it for this video. I'm gonna clean out those codes, get out of here. I'm freezing. Everything's freezing. My mouth's cold, my fingers cold. It's hard to talk. Camera's cold, it keeps dying. I'll see you on the next episode. Subscribe and I'll see you there. That's a job well done. Well, it's been about 3 hours since I finished that job, and I'm still halfway home, man. I mean, I was moving for like a mile an hour for like the first 10 miles, so at least we're moving now. I should be home in like half an hour, but I specifically scheduled it so I wouldn't have to go up there during rush hour, and I got rush hour extreme. Thanks to the snow. Thanks, Santa Claus. It's not Christmas though. All right, I'm tired. It's late now. It's getting late. Ridiculous.